Hello, my name is Henriette and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'd love to have you here. So in this video, I'm going to go all out for the 4th of July. My next door neighbour is American and I can't wait to surprise her with a little celebration. So it didn't take me very long to figure out that you can't buy any American decor in the UK. So I decided to make my own. And I found this gorgeous fabric on eBay and it was very affordable. I wanted to make a table runner out of the striped fabric. And that was so easy. When you have stripes, I mean, you've already got lines, so it's very easy to cut out. I have been sewing since I was a child. My mum taught me from a very young age. I think sewing is one of those things which are lovely to sit and do because you can get something finished quite quickly. I'm planning for our celebration to be outside, so I'm hoping for some really good weather. We've had a bit of January here in the UK. It's been very cold and wet. But the table outside is much longer than the table inside, so this runner is going to be long. My husband gave me this sewing machine a few years ago and it certainly had a lot of use. As the table runner was finished, I decided to make some napkins out of the star fabric. I mean, how gorgeous is this? If you are new to sewing, making table runners, tablecloths or napkins is such an easy thing to do because you're literally just sewing a square. When I make napkins, I usually make them 60 by 60 centimeters or 2 foot by 2 foot because that ends up being a generous sized napkin. I always zigzag around the edges of my fabric just to make sure it doesn't fray, and by doing that, whatever you sew will last longer. I ended up making 8 napkins and then it was on to something new. I wanted to make some bunting. I don't know what that is called in America, maybe flags, I don't know, a banner. If you know, please let me know in the comments below. There are different ways to make bunting, but I like doing the square sort of fabric method. I find it the easiest. So I basically cut out a lot of squares from the fabrics that I've chosen. I fold them into triangles and sew down one side of that triangle. I then turn all the triangles inside out, which will create a sort of flag. The extra bit of fabric at the top of your flag, I just tuck in. When I tuck the extra bit in, I make sure that it creates a straight line at the top of the flag. And then I use a chopstick just to make sure that it's nicely pointed. Finally, I attach a bit of bias binding to the top. I have made a lot of bunting over the years. I find it very cheerful. And here it comes, all finished. I mean, what's not to like? I still had some fabric left over, so I quickly made some cushions too. As this video is all about America, I wanted to find some connection. So I popped over to Trafalgar Square, where we found a statue of George Washington. This statue was a gift from the people of Virginia, and it's a tribute to the good relations between Great Britain and the United States. Very close to Trafalgar Square is Craven Street, and it's here that the last remaining home of Benjamin Franklin is. Benjamin Franklin resided here from 1757 to 1775, and then he went back to America. As you can see here, it was beautifully decorated for the 4th of July. Absolutely stunning. I did knock the front door, by the way, but no one answered. And then we're on to our last destination, St. Paul's Cathedral. And you may be surprised to know that there's a very strong connection between America and England in here. This cathedral is probably very familiar to many because of the royal family. But that's not why I'm here. I've come to pay my respects to the 28,000 American and Canadian soldiers who bravely fought during the Second World War but lost their lives. So I got permission to look through the Roll of Honor, and I have to tell you, it was so touching and so emotional. This is a copy that was made because it will allow anyone who has any relations to have a look through and find their names so that they can pay their respects. I'll show you the real book in a minute. The real book is located behind the altar, and there's also an inscription in the floor as a memorial to the brave soldiers. So here is the real book, and I've left some of this writing in so that if you want to, you can pause it and read it. So this book here is obviously kept under lock and key because they got to make sure that it's never harmed. Whilst we are here, I wanted to tell you that St. Paul's Cathedral, as we see it now, has been in London for over 300 years. And it's known for its Whispering Gallery, which I'm going to go and see now. It is a lot of steps, and I kept going and going and going. But eventually we got up to the top of the stairs and through a very narrow walkway, and you'll just get a quick view of the Whispering Gallery because we weren't allowed to film. When you're in the Whispering Gallery, you can literally hear what someone is saying on the other side of the dome. We also braved it to the outside dome where you will get an absolutely splendid view of London. It's the next day, and I've come to John Lewis to get some more supplies. I mean, what's not to love about a haberdashery department? I mean, this is another one of my very happy places. As always, I'm looking through the remnants, and I did indeed find a very nice bit of linen. I always make a point of looking through the remnants because you can always pick up a really good deal. I also grabbed some tissue paper for a little craft which I'll show you later on. I really wanted to create a wreath so that the first thing you see when you come to our front door is America related. And my son's girlfriend was here to help me, which was absolutely lovely. I'm using a wire wreath this time, and all I'm doing is tying little scraps of fabric onto the wire. I'm obviously going to do it in a pattern like an American flag. I'm wrapping around jute rope for the remainder of the wreath just to give it a bit of texture. And the jute rope I'm using here is 10mm thick. I'm just going over and under the wire, which creates a really lovely pattern. Then it was time to make some tissue flowers. And I use 4 sheets of tissue paper per flower. First of all, I make sure that I have a square just like this. I fold over in a triangle and cut the extra bit off. And then again, I fold it over again, and then I cut them so eventually you end up with 16 bits of tissue paper. These flowers are so easy to make, but they make for a lovely decoration. Then it's time to fold the 16 sheets as a fan. I'm using a bit of twine to tie around the middle. I cut a point at each end, open up the fan and start separating out all the tissue paper sheets. You end up with these gorgeous looking flowers. Whilst I had some help, we also made some stars using wooden beads. We kind of helped each other a little bit to work out how to make them. Finally, it was time to get decorating. I'm going to start out the front with the wreath. Rupert, our cat, has come out to see what all the fuss is about, and he was quite interested in the American flags. Now I'm going to add these to the pot just for a bit of extra cheer. I've got to say, I'm really enjoying these colours. I also wanted to decorate our gazebo, and I'm going to be using the paper flowers for this. If you like the jumper I'm wearing, then it's from Hollister, and I'll make sure that I link it below. However, this is not a sponsored item. A few more flags, and then I think that's all I'm going to be doing in this area. And then it was time to hang up the bunting, and I've got to say I really like this out here. It's so colourful and so cheerful. Please don't forget to tell me what this is called or referred to in America. I wanted to arrange some flowers for our table setting, and I went for red and white roses. I mean, they're such a beautiful flower and definitely one of my favourites. So I'm making sure that I cut them underwater because apparently that will make them last for longer. And of course, a few more American flags. Now I found these on eBay if you'd like to find them too. And my wish came true because just as I started setting the table, the sun came out. Those of you who have been on my channel for a while will know just how much I love a good table setting, and so far it's shaping up well. You've seen me use these straw table mats before, but I'm going to use them again because I think they're so summery. It's for the same reason that I'm going to be using white plates and stainless steel cutlery. You can see the bunting in the background of some of these shots, and doesn't it just look so effective? For the napkins, I'm going to do like I've done before. I'm going to use our straw napkin rings because again they really go well with the straw mats. And as soon as I'm adding the blue colour, the whole table pops. As always, I'm going to be adding a wine glass and a water glass. It is a hot day today, so we're definitely going to need the water glasses. I'm also going to add a little bit of greenery to those napkins. And And these are olive branches from our trees in the garden. And here comes those stunning roses. I mean, doesn't that look lovely? I always like to add a little bit of candlelight to any dinner table. And I remembered that I had these old storm lights, I guess you would call them. I've had them for about 25 years. And I'm going to fill them up with a bit of play sand and then put a candle in. And I think that goes really well with the natural element of the table. All there is left is our little wooden beads stars. And I worked out that you can fit a tea light candle inside the hole. And here is the table all finished. Our four-legged neighbours have come to say hello and see what's going on next door. We are so very fortunate to have these guys next door. Back to the job at hand, and it's time for me to get my cushions out. And I think they work really well on these sofas. And by the way, if you want to see a full video on our patio, I'll make sure that I link it in the description box below. As everything is American in this video, I wanted to bake some brownies. And this is another recipe by Jane's Patisseries, and I will make sure that I link it below in the description box. Now these are triple chocolate brownies, and I chose them because it's a special occasion. Now, I'm not going to spend that much time showing you how I bake them, but I will, however, spend a bit of time showing you how I decorated them. I start off with a layer of double cream mixed with a bit of icing sugar. Then I add raspberries and blueberries, of course in the shape of an American flag. It was time to get my piping bag out because I wanted to make the stripes really neat and tidy, and of course I wanted to create some stars. I must admit I had a lot of fun making this cake, and I'm really pleased with the outcome. And here comes the final result. The guest of honor, my American friend, has arrived, and I can't wait to show her all the things I've made. If you have enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe. I love hearing from you, and of course all of your comments mean the world to me. I'm going to leave you today with some videos of our gathering. That's all from me. Much love to America from London.